Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll hit the dollar, the 10-year yield, go through all that, and I'll give you my financial opinion. Please, it's just only opinion. Please don't use it as advice. So let's dive in here. This is the dollar. The dollar continues to get stronger. It is a beast. Here it is going into the crossroads. And what do I mean by crossroads? We've got this line going across. Now, I probably could draw it a little bit cleaner than this. It's probably more like up here, but if you hit all these guys in here, it's right where the closing points are on everything. But we are hitting this line going across. It's hitting all these different areas in here. It's coming up to that resistance level. So we're going to see if that resistance level holds the dollar down or if the dollar is going to make its, some headway against other currencies. The 10-year yield continues to go higher, and the rate of change here is unbelievable in terms of the 10-year yield. I thought this thing would kind of go more up like this. We are just continuing to move quite vertical on the 10-year yield. The rate of change is quite dramatic, and the rate of change has impacts on things. It's not just the overall level, it's the rate of change. And what we're going to see is we're going to see the bonds, 20-year Treasury bond ETF, it's coming right to the resistance level. We're seeing that money rotate out very quickly. I don't know if we're going to hit this resistance level and if this support line is going to hold or not, but it's one to watch. This is a very kind of a longer-term support line all the way back to 2010. And we're going to see if this support line holds or if it's going to break to the downside. I think we might get a bounce here, but then we'll have to see if that bounce holds. Looking at gold, gold was up I got about $8 today. Here we are with a little wick at the top. It tried running. Still looks good. We might do a breakout, a little bit of a retest move a little bit lower, which I hope we do because I want to buy some more in my 401k. I just added some. And hopefully we get a little bit of a pullback here. Again, it's not going to be a big pullback. It'd just be this small little retest move and then a move on higher. But we've broken out of this downtrend line. We've broken up, had a little bit of a wick. We may come back a little bit tomorrow, and then we'll see where we go from there. Silver, it's moving on up, still has that little wick. We have a little bit of resistance through this area. It's touching that resistance. Again, we're ping-ponging between two resistance lines. We tried breaking out, it came back in. We're ping-ponging between it. It's the resistance line at about 25.50 and 24.50 to use round numbers. Those are the two lines. And if we kind of look back here, and I were to draw this back, you can see that there was a lot of resistance there and support here, resistance there, support here, resistance here. This line is very, very strong. So when you go and you try to go through these resistance lines, it hits that resistance and then comes back. But what I look for is the buyer-seller relationship. Is this pullback coming back as far as it did before? Are we seeing lows that are getting higher and higher? I think we are, which means, think of it as higher lows, rounding bottoms, those types of things is what I'm looking for. So each sell-off by the sellers is becoming less impactful to the price. And that's exactly what I look for in these types of things. And we've got good support right where we're at. In this general vicinity, it's between a support and resistance line. And then when those two merge together, we usually see a breakout. So I do think a breakout's coming soon. How soon? I don't like getting in the prediction games because then people will say, "Oh, his prediction's off." It's like the prediction doesn't matter. It's the positioning that matters. What do you do in this position? I would say anything down in this area is a good time to be looking at potential additions to the portfolio of either physical metals or the mining companies themselves. The mining companies look really good because we've got the XAU to gold ratio that's starting to improve, and I'll show you what that looks like. Platinum also has those wicks at the top that we've seen in gold and silver, so we could see a little bit of a bounce, something like this. This does look like we've got some sort of falling wedge pattern. So I do think it's going to break very soon. I am adding into my physical platinum portfolio holdings in this general vicinity. That is what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want, but I like it here. And if we get another kind of little pullback here, I think that's probably one of the last pullbacks we'll get if we get it. I think we will. I think we'll have a down day or two, but that would be a good time to be looking for a potential add. XAU to gold ratio. So we're getting a little bit of, looks like today, a little bit more selling pressure in the mining companies in relationship to gold itself. But looking at the long-term view, we're coming up on this resistance line. This is a big, heavy resistance line. Again, I look at the buying and selling pressures. We're coming on down. We came in this falling wedge pattern. We broke that out to the upside. We hit our head on this resistance and pulled back. We came up, hit our head again, pulled back, but the pullback was less. Now we're going to hit our head. We may pull back a little bit and then go. Somewhere in this general vicinity, we might pull back it. We may not pull back. I'm not in the game of making predictions. I'm in the game of positioning. Positioning in this general vicinity, I think, is a pretty good idea. How would I do it? I would cost average in. Cost average into the favorite companies that I have. And I have a lot of companies, and I give some strategies in some videos I released on my Finding Value website. If you are interested in those strategies, I would definitely sign up for the Platinum membership. Just to plug that in there, guys, to plug it in. Karora Resources taken off, another one that I think is a pretty good mining company. It is moving on up. You can see these consolidation periods. That's a consolidation period. This is a consolidation period. And then we stair step higher. There's your stair stepping higher pattern. I talk about that a lot on the channel, talk about that in a variety of different things, but this looks good. Would I go in and buy it? Well, you should have been buying it in here. That's a good top spot to be buying. Now, there are other companies like EXK is looking very good in this general vicinity. When you look for chart patterns, you want to look for things that consolidate, break, they pause a little bit, and that's where I get excited. This here gets me excited. Why? Because I've seen this all before. You get this huge pattern, you get this big flag pattern, and then we break to the upside. So what I do is I buy before the break. I'll buy it in this wedge coming all the way down here. Why not? Support. You buy off support levels. Then when we break out, you come back, you buy again. I mean, to me, it's automatic. I just cost average in myself. FSM's in the similar scenario. We got that little bloody nose type movement, maybe a bloody forehead. But again, we've got the falling wedge. We broke it to the upside, and it's just hanging here. We've got bullish engulfing, bullish engulfing. We've got these bullish engulfing signals signaling that we're probably going to head higher from a statistical probability. There's actually 3 of them here. So that one looks good. SILJ, another one that's broken out of its wedge pattern, and it's just moving sideways in that consolidation type flag pattern. Looks good. GDX, another one that's broken out of the wedge pattern, and it's just hanging out. It's hanging out. It'll do okay. Even if we come back here, guys, even if we come back here, it's still a good opportunity, in my opinion. Don't be afraid. MMNGF, looking like it's getting a little bit of buying pressure, looking quite good. It's on that support resistance line that it's been just milking it up and down around. But overall, the pattern looks really good. And it's just been moving sideways. It's waiting for a move in silver and for the resurgence of interest in this sector. Koya Resources, another small silver company, more speculative. I like it down here. Another one that, I wouldn't put a bunch of money in it. Portfolio allocation size is a bullish engulfing. I do think this looks good down here. Discovery Silver, it's got that nice squeezing up pattern. What would I do? Well, I like it. I like it here, guys. Discovery Silver. That's what I think. First Majestic Silver, another one that's broken out of its downtrend downtrend line. It's just been moving sideways. I like it. Newmont, still moving higher. Could this pull back? It very well could. And you know what? I would like it. Doesn't bother me because we're sitting on top of this massive pattern, this big boy pattern. And it's okay if it moves around up here. As long as we don't break 69, we're good. We're in this big pattern. We've broken out. We could do a little bit more of a little retest move. Maybe not. Again, I can't tell you the future, but all I can tell you is positioning in this area is, I think, a pretty good statistical move. It's above support and it's got good upside potential. This one's Mag Silver. Mag Silver again it's basically coiling up into a corner here. May take a little more time. That's okay. We're not in it to win it in terms of we don't have to win this in 1 month. Get in there, position, let it run whenever it does decide to run. AUY, another one that's broken out of its pattern. This is a falling wedge pattern that's broken. It's been running up higher. Impact Silver, another one that looks like it's just moving sideways. Aftermath Silver, this thing's been in a very long channel, just moving sideways. Arcana Silver is Arcana Silver Corporation. Okay, so here's one for all you brave folk. If you want to try catching a bottom, you have to be brave. This thing is still pulling back. Look for a support at 1.136. Now, if this thing falls down to 0.136, up to you on what you want to do. If you're brave and you see it's going to come down here, it's going to use this as support, and you may dip a little bit below it. You may dip a little bit below it. It's going to scare some people out of this stock. They're going to say, oh, it broke below the support line. But if you're brave, and I'm going to repeat, if you're brave and you want to try catching bottoms, this is your attempt to do it. So maybe 0.10 or 0.11. That's, you know, somewhere in that area. If you cost average in, that's how I would do it if you're brave. PLG getting a little bit of buying pressure again. What happens? It's falling wedge, broken to the upside. Then you get this nice little pattern here. It's about to break. There's your flag pattern. I'll leave it in there. That's a great flag pattern. And then I would look for a potential break, buy into the strength, and you'll be off to the races, hopefully. Hopefully that's the case. This guy's got kind of like a falling wedge type pattern that looks like it's trying to break to the upside there. So that one, I don't know if we're just gonna head on higher. We might, and what that would create is probably a kind of more of like a cup and handle type pattern on the bigger long-term view. So I think everything looks pretty good for Sivani at this time. Sandstorm Gold, this is one that I like at this particular time in this general vicinity up here. And it was up higher with a little bit of momentum loss, but I think if gold strengthens, I think this will strengthen as well. Franco-Nevada, another one that I like, sitting on top of its big pattern here. This guy's a powerhouse, so that one's looking good. EMX, yeah, it still looks okay. Doesn't look bad. We're still in that downtrend. Still got to work on it. Teuton Resources moving up a little bit. It's hugging this upper channel here. A little bit of resistance. Wheaton Precious Metals, again, I like this one a lot. It's starting to get above this breakout here, and we're going to start moving. Very good company for a royalty company. Gold royalty companies moving on up today, looking good. MTA, this one's still moving sideways. It has broken to the upside of its falling wedge. Still looks good. Mavericks Metals is on top of its falling wedge. Still looks good. Royal Gold, another one that's had a massive run, guys. I don't know if man, we're getting into almost all-time highs here. Very good run for Royal Gold. This was the basing pattern, broke out of that, and it's been running. Another consolidation pattern from 2011, basically, to 2019, and it's starting to move higher. It's just making higher highs and higher lows throughout this entire time. Looks fantastic. Osisko Gold Royalty still sitting on top of its pattern. Still looks great to me. And then this one's this is a royalty company, but it's not precious metals. This one also looks good. So overall, guys, I mean, we're sitting in a good spot on absolutely everything. Support lines are holding. We're on top of patterns. Again, that's all good. It doesn't look bearish to me. There's nothing bearish in any of these charts. It all looks bullish to me. So what I do is I don't do much of anything. I just hold on. I will be adding into the mutual fund that I own, OGMYX. I think that's it. OGMYX. That's what I have access to in the good old 401k, and I'll add into it. I'm hoping we get a little bit of a pullback here, and then I can just add in when it's down a little bit. And if we don't get it, I'll add in anyway. You know, beef up that portfolio side, because the uranium side has gotten a big kick, and that thing's gotten quite large in that portfolio now. But yeah, everything's looking good. Give me a thumbs up, guys, for the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out my Finding Value website below. Be a platinum member. The platinum members get you the full access to the website. We do weekly calls, and if that interests you, definitely sign up. We talk a lot about all sorts of different things. Right now, I'm a huge energy bull, that's for sure, and I still like my physical precious metals. And yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.